there's one thing you can do that I've found will really help speed up your self improvement journey. And that's to constantly reflect upon yourself and upon your day and to see what you did well, what you did poorly, and how you can improve. Now, you're only gonna get this if you're in grade 11, but it's like probably the best analogy I can think of. So if you're in grade 11 and you're taking like IB or you're taking honestly, I think if you're just taking chemistry, if you're taking chemistry, you might know like after you do an experiment, you have to do the evaluation part of the experiment, and that's the part where you look back on it and you say, where did the experiment go poorly? What went well? Did I get the right values I was hoping to get? And then the last part is how can I improve this experiment? So how can I improve the design of this experiment so the next time I do it, I can get better results? This is the same sort of system that if you implement into your life, I found can really help you personalize tactics and to improve daily, but also it'll help you catch on to your errors and like the sort of the source or like the root of your problems earlier. So, I just gave the analogy, but in real life, this experiment that we're talking about is your day to day life. So every single day, I want you to treat it like it's an experiment. And then at the end of the day, right before you go to sleep, so I recommend implementing this into your night routine. Take maybe like 5 or 10 minutes and just look back on your day, right? Like see what went well, what went poorly, um, and specifically what you could improve on so that the next day you can perform better. Oh shit. Oh, I need my freaking script, but I don't remember this shit. Once you figure those things out, the like most important part is to figure out improvements to your day or things that you can do to prevent those errors or the mistakes that you made from happening again. So that way, like the next day, you can be better. So I'll just give you an example of this. Um, I'll tell like I guess this is the my personal story part, but not a long time ago, a couple months ago, at the beginning of like grade 11 ish, I had a problem where every single day after I go home from school, I would just lie down on my bed, and this is because I live in Canada, and it's like I don't want to add to the stereotypes, but it's like cold and shit during the winter, and there's like snow, and it's like kind of miserable. And I drive my car, right? So that means when I go home, I'm like actually freezing. So I'll go home, I'll be really cold, I'll be really tired, especially because of the thing called the afternoon crash. So I just get really tired in the afternoon. And me being both cold and tired are the factors, the if this is an experiment. Again, I'm sorry if you're like 12 or something and you don't know what this is, but basically, if this is an experiment, this is like your these are like the variables that you can't control, right? So you're supposed to have control variables, but these are variables that are supposed to be controlled, but they're not. And then so me being tired and me being cold leads to me like climbing into my bed covers because that's where it's warm and it's nice. And once I'm in there, I'll just start scrolling on my phone for like an hour, 2 hours. So for a solid about like month or two of my life, I was doing that. But then I thought like, I was like designing my night routine. I was like, oh, what should I add in my night routine? I know. What if I just reflect upon the end of my day during my night routine and see what I improve on? I kid you not, like the day after I implemented the system reflection. So the very first like reflection I actually did, I said, I mean, I waste like hella time in the afternoon. Why do I do this? Well, I climb into my bed. Why do I climb my bed? Well, I mean, I think I'm cold because it's winter, and then it's also my bed is easily accessible. Like I don't make my bed or anything, so the bed sheets are already like open and everything. And also, my bedroom is right next to my washroom, so when I go home to wash my hands, it's very easy to just like go to my bed. And so I identified all these factors, these things that were like basically causing this problem of mine. And then I said to myself, well, I mean, how can I fix this? Well, I could close my bedroom doors. I could make my bed, because if I make my bed and it's so nice, I have to like undo the bed sheets to actually like climb in. I could use the upstairs bathroom or the downstairs bathroom to wash my hands instead. And I implemented a few of these, and then within like a week, this like habit that was like wasting hours and hours of my day every day was just gone. So this is the power of having a system of reflection. Okay, the thing is though, you will arrive to these conclusions like on your own. So what I mean by this is like eventually, I probably would have been like, hey, I waste hella time after school. Like this isn't okay. Like I'm kind of being a little shit. But if you don't have a system of reflection, it's sort of like you're just wandering around in the dark until you randomly just stumble into this. Whereas if you have a system of reflection, you're like actively searching for the problems and the solutions inside your life. The analogy I want to give is like, if you don't have a system of reflection, that's like if we put you in a very dark room and there's just like a rock, and the goal is to find the rock. And if it's really dark, you can't see anything. The only thing you can do is just stumble around until you find the rock. If you have a system of reflection, that's like if we give you night vision goggles and you just like, then you could just, you walk in the room, take a look around, be like, oh, that's a rock. And you go and you grab it just like immediately. You walk towards it because you now have like the means to actively search for the problem. So this is just like the power of the system of reflection. I would recommend having it daily. So every day at the end of the night, or I tried doing it in the morning. That was moderately effective as well. Just reflect upon your day, reflect on what you did, like where you procrastinated, specifically why you procrastinated, and then figure out solutions to those. And this is how you can constantly adapt and evolve yourself. Now, the second thing I recommend is having a weekly deep reflection. Now, this is something you do every week, or how every 2 weeks, every month, but just do it, schedule it. I'd recommend every week. Maybe every 2 weeks works for you. And this is where you spend maybe 30 minutes to an hour figuring out the deeper reasons, so the root factors that are causing your procrastination. Because like the daily reflections are very shallow, right? I just like, it's very surface level. I just look at my day, I just be like, oh, I did this here, I wasted time here. Why did I do this? I don't really get into the why that much. I just be like, I did this here, how can I fix this? In these deeper weekly reflections, what I want you to do is to think about the root causes of your problems. So whether that be poor mental health, or like you have PTSD because your parents beat your ass, or like anything else, honestly, just like any of these like root problems, or like, you got one friend that's like always like causing a bunch of these. So it helps to keep a calendar, or to keep a list, or to like keep a record of your daily reflections. So I write all my daily reflections in a notebook, and then you can look back upon the week, or even 2 weeks or 3 weeks during these like deep reflections, and you can see if there's any common themes. Like, oh, I always tend to just like procrastinate around this time, or I tend to get my best work done around this time. And then in the deeper reflections, since they're longer, now you can like really delve deep into these questions and be like, why do I do better work around this time? Or why do I feel better around this person? Or why do I feel worse around this person? Should I cut this person off? Basically, the weekly reflections is where you make like the deeper decisions that'll really have like a bigger impact on your life. But it's also the time where you can like tackle the tough questions in your life. This is like, I'm not gonna lie to you, right? I find that daily reflections a lot more effective at fixing your life, but I feel like the weekly reflections give you a lot of insight into yourself, so who you are, and that really helps you. Like it's just not wishy-washy, but it's like it's good to know who you are. Yeah, so weekly deep reflections, their benefit is that they allow you to like see into yourself, see who you are, like your your basic motives, like where you come from, why you do the things that you do. Basically, your psyche. Like it lets you build a psychological profile of yourself, and this is just like it's hard to give practical, like real grounded stuff on this because it's like so like philosophical. But I promise, like it helps. Like I promise, you should probably do this. If I were to say anything, I'd say it helped with the long-term self-improvement gains. So the daily reflections help you in like the short-term things, and to make like tactics, and to personalize stuff, and to fix like small issues, right? It's like, oh, I woke up poorly. What should I do? I should move my phone to the end of the room, so I have to wake up. Oh, I don't want a cold shower. What should I do? I should sleep warmer, because if I wake up warmer, I'd be more likely to cold shower. Like that's what you use daily reflections for. But a weekly reflection, you start to identify things. You start to be like, oh, why do I feel such a need to impress other people? Is it, oh, it's because of this. It's because in junior high, this person did this, etc., etc. You start to be able to build a psychological profile of yourself. That's a very good wording of it. And what this will do is it'll allow you to, because a lot of is like recognition is, or acknowledgement is like the first step. So once you're able to identify this, then you can start to like move on. Like identifying it and recognizing it and acknowledging your flaws or your strengths or any like deep part of your character is like the first step to long-term deep mindset changes. So yeah, I highly recommend you do both a daily reflection to fix like sort of the smaller things in your life, but also a weekly like deeper reflection. You can really go deep into your psyche and your thoughts, and I recommend putting this all on a notebook. You can write it down, you can keep track, you can keep dates, then you have like accurate stuff. I mean, you could do it on like a digital calendar as well, as long as it's down and in writing. But I find that if you physically write it on like a notebook with a pen, it's a lot more effective than if you do it online. I hope you implement the system of reflection so that you can, constantly reflect on your life and constantly evolve and adapt your life to speed up your self-improvement journey. If you enjoyed this video, I'll be posting another one. Okay, listen, the upload schedule was originally twice a week, so every Wednesday and Sunday. But I think, and like I said, either once a week or twice a week, but honestly, I might be able to do 3 times a week. It depends on where these type of videos go, right? Because, I only have 2 videos up right now. Maybe if I post a video, or I post this video, and it's got more editing, or it's a different editing style, I'll switch to that. Well, we'll see. Tentatively, expect a new video Wednesday, I think. And I really appreciate it if you like and subscribe. If you think about it, if you subscribe now, you'd be my 4th subscriber, which means you're 25% of my viewer base, So that means I'm making videos and you're like 25% in my head when I'm making videos. So that was a terrible analogy. Anyways, that's it. Yeah, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. See ya.